Welcome to the 21st episode of the Mouska Bros podcast. Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm his brother Randy. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at the Mouska Bros. We will be releasing new episodes every Friday, so make sure you subscribe to get the latest podcast. If you have any suggestions for upcoming shows or just want to say hi, you can email us at mouskabrospodcast@gmail.com.
If you're planning your next Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Universal Orlando vacation, you're going to want to reach out to me, Ryan Noppinger, with Capture the Magic Vacations. You can reach me at ryan.noppinger@ctmvagent.com. This is a no-cost-to-you service to use me as your travel agent. I'll make sure you get the best vacation package or deal for your whole family. I can also help make dining reservations and plan fast passes to make planning your Disney vacation less stressful and more magical.
On today's episode, we have another segment of Love It, Hate It, Update It. In this series, we discuss topics such as attractions, dining, and all things Disney. Today's topic is Disney World Moderate Resorts. We will be keeping the same format as the value resorts and just go through all the moderate resorts and just give them a label, whether it's Love It, Hate It, or Update It, since there's only 5. Yeah.
Well, let's get right into it and start giving it.
So first, we're going to talk about what actually defines a moderate hotel, because how Disney defines it. So one, it's going to be the price. Moderate resorts are about $70 more expensive than a value resort per night. This can vary, obviously, because of the season, if they're running some sort of discount. But as a good baseline, it would be about $70 more. The theming is also a big decider. Moderate resorts generally offer more distinction and kind of a well thought out themed environments. You have a lot of details that come together to form a cohesive backstory and more convincing environment that transports you away from the Walt Disney World and really puts you into the resort. So you don't feel like you're at a hotel. That makes sense. And then the rooms themselves, the rooms are larger by about 60 square feet. The bedding is like the moderate bedding, go figure. It's not like the nicest bedding, but it's not the worst bedding. It's bedding that's better than value resorts.
I feel like you said bedding.
I can
more
say,
than
you may say bedding one more time. Moderate resorts also come with a fridge, and they can sleep up to 5 with an extra sleeper. For most rooms, that is. So, Ryan, you get the other things?
So to talk about dining, transportation, and some other notes that we have. So for dining, the big difference for moderate is they all have a table service, only except for French Quarter, but Riverside is literally only a boat ride away because they're basically the same resort, but they are 2 different resorts. But again, they're really, really close.
Probably a 10-minute walk in between each.
Yeah, if that. They do offer more variety as far as that, and definitely more interesting dining in the cafeteria. And I guess what that means is it's not just tables just to fit the mass amounts of people as they do at value resorts. It's more of a relaxing type of still quick service feel to it.
Yeah,
right?
I guess the best way, I'm thinking in terms of just breakfast, but I mean, obviously they differ. But, if you go to Pop Century and go to their breakfast, you're going to get eggs, bacon, and some toast for breakfast.
And screaming kids.
Right. But if you went to like Coronado, right, you could get like a Mexican omelet with the spices, peppers. It has more flavor to it, and it fits. It just adds to the theme.
Yeah. Transportation, it's not really a consideration here. I guess what I mean by that, it's the same as value as all the other resorts. Pretty much the bus service is the same. There is the option of, couldn't tell if it was sometimes or always, at least from the current trip I did in October for me and my wife on our 1-year anniversary trip, The bus didn't stop at both French Quarter and Riverside, but it could, depending on peak or non-peak, and whether they have the buses for all
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like like an all-star. Like the all-stars just have one bus.
Yeah, and again, it's close enough to, even if they did stop at both resorts, it's putting you only 10 more minutes out. Or if you get off at the French Quarter, you can walk back to your room if it's closer that way. Oddly enough, yeah. Some other miscellaneous things are they have a more elegant themed pools, and they all have water slides, and elegantly themed, similar to Art of Animation with the Nemo pool and cars and stuff like that. It's not just a like piano themed pool, and that's that.
Where the pool is shaped as a piano, right? And that's the pool. It puts you into.
It has more elements.
It's a story. The pool is a story.
Yeah, and it has a water slide, which is also really, really cool. A cool upgrade from the values. A lot of these other, even though it's $70 and maybe more a night, you can see where the value is added for this moderate class.
Right. I mean, it definitely depends on kind of what you're looking for in a hotel. If you're looking someplace that you're getting in at 2 a.m., from you go to the parks and then go to a bar. I don't know why you would do that. It's a lot. And then waking up and opening the park again or whatever. If you're kind of just using your hotel room to sleep, then maybe go with the value.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're kind of looking to get more out of a hotel, maybe use the pool one day or actually eat at the hotel.
You could just have a resort day.
Yeah. At the moderates, and that's kind of what the difference is.
Yeah. There's other miscellaneous things too. They all have bars and lounges, like actual bars, not just like the pool bar that the value resorts have. They actually all have a bar at them. They also have other activities, boat rentals. You can rent some other things like bikes and odds and ends sports stuff. And then the moderate resorts are typically more spread out. Of course, except French Quarter. I feel like that's going to be a common theme. But it's still moderate.
Yeah, I mean, these were all just like kind of general rules. They all don't apply to every hotel, and they all don't apply to the value. Because, like there's the note about the pools. Well, Art of Animation's a value resort, technically. But its pools are very elegant. So, they were just general rules of thumbs.
And hopefully, that's like the theme. That's the baseline, hopefully, now going forward for any other value resorts.
Resorts in general. I completely agree with that.
So to jump right into it, our first stop on this experience tour of the moderate resorts is Port Orleans French Quarter. I was about to say Riverside.
It's not.
Nope, it is French Quarter. I would have been wrong because I don't have the Riverside notes up. So to French Quarter is our first stop. Total number of rooms is 1,008. Room size is 314 square foot. And the starting price for this, the prices all vary, but kind of the baseline price is $227 a night. If you don't have a discount wrapped up into it or a package.
Or the season that it's at.
Right, or if you're going at Christmas or New Year's, that's they get more money because why not? So anyway, just like as an overview for it, it's very New Orleans historic. French Quarter is the whole theme of it. Mardi Gras, jazz, the whole nine. It sits on the Sassagoula River that also connects to the Port Orleans Riverside Resort. That you can actually take a boat in between them both, or again you can walk down the river. There is a path that you could walk to from Riverside to French Quarter, and again it's maybe less than 10 minutes though. I will say though the boat ride is very, very nice to do, and for all for French Quarter and Riverside, you can take a boat from these resorts to Disney Springs. You don't have to take a bus to get there.
I'll give you $5 if you can say Sassagoula River 5 times fast.
Sassagoula. Oh, I have to say river too.
Yeah,
No.
you got to say the whole phrase
Oh.
5 times
I
to
feel
make
like
$5.
Sassagoula is a very simple word.
It looks worse on paper.
Sassagoula.
Sassagoula. It's European. I don't know.
Anyway, moving on to the rooms of this, they're pretty much all the same. 2 queen beds, sleeps 4, other than of course the king bed that has 1 king bed in it and it sleeps 2. But they have a standard view, a garden view, a river view, a pool view, and of course the king bed. They're all pretty, explanatory of what they offer. The garden view has a view of the garden, and the river view, a view of the Sassagoula River. As for dining, there it is again, Sassagoula Float Works and Food Factory is their quick service restaurant offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have, looks like 2 bars. The one, Scat Cats Club, which is their bar service, where you can listen to live jazz, blues, and soul on select nights, while sipping on Southern-inspired cocktails, microbrews, and wine.
Ooh.
And then they have Mardi Gras, which is their bar service, which is basically their pool bar. Yeah.
I feel like when they were naming that bar, it was just like an Imagineer who was already drunk and he was trying to say Mardi Gras, but he was drunk
Mardi
and said,
Gras.
He was like, let's go to Mardi Gras. Someone was like, oh, I like that name.
Then they made fun of him
Yeah.
for the rest of his life.
And then he became famous because he came up with the name of the bar.
The pool bar, Mardi Gras.
So
Thanks, that guy. Anyway.
We should probably put out a disclaimer now that French Quarters and Riverside, since they are so close, their websites are kind of the same. So like if you go into the dining tab under French Quarters, you get the restaurants from Riverside as well. So apologies if we got the restaurants in the wrong places, but we're 99% sure.
99.9%.
There's always that 0.01%.
Yeah.
But we should be good with the dining on the 2 hotels.
So still for French Quarter, they do have a pool, the Doubloon Lagoon. Disney just loves to rhyme, make things more complicated than they actually are.
This is the door hinge orange.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a common theme with Disney for sure. But at this pool, they just have festive decorations. They have a 51-foot-long snake sea serpent slide. Again, all the moderates have a slide that are pretty much all themed as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
They also have a water play area, a whirlpool spa, and then the Mardi Gras pool bar as well is there. 2 kind of fun things that they offer is painting on the bayou, which is in a sense a paint night. They have this at the Scat Cats Club. It says it's $35 plus tax per guest, ages 12 and older. And it says it's good for beginners, experts, and those who are even in between beginners and experts. I was trying to think of a beginner.
On to the next thing.
On to the next fun thing. They have a beignet fun run.
Running's not fun.
It is when there's beignets at the end. They call it the Sunday Run Day again.
Oh yeah,
rhyming real classy. Anyway, it's a 1.5 mile course, and then you receive a medal at the end along with a tasty beignet. Which after running 1.5 miles. I don't know who would want to eat a beignet. I would just skip the run and just go buy beignets.
Yeah. If I'm running 1.5 miles, the next place I'm going is my toilet because I'm throwing up because I don't exercise. So that's a fun fact for the day.
There's a nap afterwards.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Crying in the shower. Your legs hurt.
Yeah, because your calves are killing you.
Isn't it funny that running 1.5 miles seems worse than just walking around Disney all day? Like it's like you're probably like it's two different. I don't know. It's just funny.
Well, there's people that run on vacation. There's some people that run.
Those people are wrong.
There's some people that only like to exercise and run and be fit. That's like the purpose of going on vacation.
It's like it's like when you go to the beach and like in the middle of the day, there's just like some dude who's working out like where everyone can see him. Like he went to the beach just to work out, just so he can be seen, show off his muscles. I mean, that's why I go to the beach, show off my rockin' bod.
Yeah. Anyway, definitely moving on from that one. So as other recreation, pretty much is a common theme for all the moderates, just like the values, but they have, well, not really like the values because they don't have bike rentals at the values, but you can rent bikes, a jogging trail, you can fish, they have a playground, they have an arcade, and they have the movies under the stars. Yeah, so that's all the French Quarters.
So time to give it love it, hate it, or update it, Ryan.
I know.
Where do you go first on this? You tell me where you stand. What are your thoughts right now? What is in the brain of Ryan?
What's in the brain? Well, I can tell you it's not much.
That is a lot of crickets.
It's a peanut. It's a single peanut. Anyway, I don't know. I've stayed at Riverside, in October.
That's great. We're not on Riverside.
I'm getting there. I am getting there.
Sorry.
Jeez. So I stayed at Riverside with my wife for our 1-year anniversary trip, and we took the boat to French Quarter, strictly just to get beignets.
So you took a boat to go get a pastry instead of walking to go get a pastry?
Yeah.
When it's probably a 10-minute walk.
Why'd you just look at my belly?
Look, I'm just saying. It's probably a 10-minute walk, and the boat probably takes 20 minutes from the time that you unload and load.
Sure.
So you took a 20-minute boat ride for a pastry.
Yeah, but it's it's a boat
not
ride.
Nostalgia.
It's relaxing.
It's not, nostalgia does not apply to this situation.
Yes, it does. Because it's a boat ride.
I don't think boats are nostalgia.
On the Sassagoula River.
Yeah, if the boat was like Steamboat Willie, it would be nostalgia. Anyway.
It's a quite lovely boat ride.
So you were,
and it beats walking.
Right, you were saying it beats walking.
Well, you see, the boat ride saved us walking so that we could walk in the parks more. That's logic.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. I'll reconfirm with Amanda, but we'll go with that.
Love it, hate it, or update it. I mean, I don't think I would necessarily hate it, but like when we went and got beignets, it seemed busy, and just walking around the resort, it definitely seemed small. But at the same time, it was cute. Because it's that, like that New Orleans feel to it.
No, it's the New Orleans.
New Orleans.
No, this is New Orleans. Riverside is the New Orleans.
Oh.
Riverside's like the South.
What? This is New Orleans.
Yeah, they're both New Orleans, but I'm saying, okay, just continue your thoughts.
I know.
This is a great episode. This is great.
This might be our top episode yet. If you're looking to stay at a moderate resort that we've been on for just French Quarter now,
18 minutes.
That's fine. Right. It's totally fine. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean, like, I wouldn't say hate it, right?
No, I definitely wouldn't say hate it. I think hate it is very strong in this sense. But at the same time, if they got rid of French Quarter and just made Riverside bigger, made it one big Port Orleans Riverside, or just like called it Port Orleans and not had two separate resorts,
right?
Would you miss French Quarter?
Yeah, I mean, would the resort be too big at that point?
Well, I mean, yeah, then it probably wouldn't be a moderate resort. It'd probably be like a deluxe resort. We haven't really talked about Riverside, so I don't want to keep referring to it, but French Quarter seems more of the kid era. It seems more kid friendly because the water slide is a sea serpent, right? You have a big pool that is fun and colorful. You have the painting. It's that
Yeah.
is more towards children. I mean, I know there's adults that love paint nights. I mean, we did a paint night. So like I don't know, it's not the greatest point. But French Quarter seems like more of like the kid side, and then Riverside.
I mean, it's a party. It's Mardi Gras. You know, it's...
Yeah, I know. But, yeah, I know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, do you want to talk about Riverside next and then kind of give them both? Since I
compare the two. It's
yeah,
hard
because it's you know, the same resort is so close. I feel like if we get a good feel for Riverside and we give Riverside a rating, I think it might be easier to give French Quarter a rating, if that makes any sense at all.
Let's go through Riverside, and then we'll backtrack and give Port Orleans, French Quarter, and Riverside.
Both together.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
All right, so let's move on to the Disney Port Orleans Resort, Riverside. There are 2,048 rooms on this resort. Each room is about 314 square feet, and the starting price is $227. It's $227. Again, that's just like a baseline, depending on discounts, season. So it completely varies. Just an overview. It's kind of the casual charm of the bygone era. There are leisure pools. You can have a horse-drawn carriage here, or you can relax at one-of-a-kind watering holes, in quotation marks. You didn't see the gesture, but I made the gesture. Ryan saw the gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can, like Ryan said, you can take a boat from Riverside to French Quarter and Disney Springs, because they're all connected through the Sassagoula River.
Yeah, they are.
I had to think about that word. I didn't have it in front of me.
I've only said it 32 times.
It's fine. So their rooms are kind of the same. There's the garden view, pool view, river view, standard view, that all have 2 queen beds and sleep 4, with the option of an extra sleeper. There's the king bed, which has 1 king bed and sleeps 2. And then they also have the preferred rooms, which is kind of closer to the shopping and dining, kind of the front area. And that has the 2 queen beds as well. And they also have a royal guest room. What these rooms are is that it's funny that I said French Quarter's kid friendly, because these rooms are, they're family oriented, kid friendly. They're dressed up. They're very magical. There's pictures of all of the princesses on the wall. There's like a firework painting display behind the bed. There's the Aladdin magic carpet in the room. The faucet is the genie lamp. So it's very done up. So it's kind of special rooms. And these have the standard, the garden, river, and pool view, and they all sleep 4. This is actually where Katie and I plan to spend our honeymoon.
Yeah,
Port Orleans Riverside, the royal guest rooms.
And these were the rooms that Amanda and I stayed in for our 1-year anniversary trip. I mean, the description that we just gave it doesn't even do it justice.
No, definitely, if you can, go look at pictures of the Riverside royal guest rooms.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, you are Princess Tiana's royal guest staying in a royal guest suite is basically what it feels like. Everything's covered from, the border on the ceiling has little elements of, all of the the movies, like Genie's lamp is kind of hidden in there, and the slipper are all hidden in the border. Then you get down to the carpet, and like you said, Ren, that like there's the Aladdin magic carpet, on the floor, and the headboard lights up fireworks. It's just absolutely all around magical.
Yeah, so it's a special room that is only offered at Riverside. And
I will say it is... We should have looked up a price, but I think these may start in like the $3 area a night.
It probably sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's not too much expensive.
No, yeah.
But it's definitely an extra cost.
For sure.
But you're paying... You get what you pay for.
No, absolutely. You definitely get what you pay for. I mean, they're essentially the same rooms. Of course, they're just, updated, but they're updated head to toe, prince, princess, everything.
They're Disneyfied.
Yeah, I mean,
The
they
word.
absolutely are Disneyfied.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the Riverside Dining. They have the Boatwright Dining Hall, which is a dinner restaurant. Make your way down to the shipyard for some Southern hospitality and a hearty New Orleans style home cooking. Sounds yummy. There's the Riverside Mill Food Court, which is kind of their cafeteria, the food court area, which has breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's near the big meal. And there's 6 scrumptious stations to satisfy your soul food cravings. There is the River Roast, which is their bar there that probably has delicious hurricanes, which I am very excited for on our honeymoon. Katie, hint, hint. Discover true Southern comfort at this charming lounge, a welcoming water hole with live entertainment and a full bar. And then they have the Muddy Rivers, which is another bar. And this is just their pool bar at their pool, which is Old Man Island. So just moving right on to the recreation and pool. This Old Man Island, it's a 3.5 acre refuge with a swimming hole and fishing hole. So you can kind of swim and fish in the same place. I'm sure they're probably they're secluded, like separated. Unless you can just throw a fishing line into the pool and see what you catch.
See what you catch. Dirty diaper.
Okay. Ew, that's disgusting. It's fashioned after an abandoned sawmill. There's a 95-foot rustic water slide built into the millworks. There's a whirlpool tub, the Muddy Rivers pool bar, and the kiddie pool. So it's hard to describe in words, but the pool, it's designed so uniquely that you kind of feel like you're in an abandoned sawmill. I know that's how it's described, but you really got to check it out. And then they have the movie Under the Stars, campfires, bike rentals, fishing, jogging, playground area, and arcade. So, it's different from French Quarter in the sense that French Quarter is the more elegant of New Orleans, and like Riverside is like the southern place, like country of New Orleans. Would you kind of agree in that statement?
Kind of. I mean, French Quarter, definitely more the Mardi Gras party feel, which, yes, when you think of New Orleans, you think of Mardi Gras and all that. You don't think of Riverside, where it's, yes, I will agree with that it's more of the southern charm feel that you would get. I mean, huge magnolia trees, like God, where's the picture at? It's like that one. Like it's a very, I'm trying to think of the word. Like
for everyone listening,
like
it's
mansions.
that picture.
Like it's like they look like mansions,
right?
Like southern mansions is I guess the best way to describe it. But actually at their dining at the at the bar service, the River Roost, they actually have Yeehaw Bob Jackson, which is it's a show. Actually, we saw a little bit of him, and basically, I mean, if you're drinking, this is the guy to party with. I mean, he's basically a wacky piano player, which I mean, it's a whole show, and definitely something I recommend to go see while you're there. One night we didn't really know his schedule. I think he normally plays, I mean, of course, at night. But we just walked in back, from the theme park, headed to our room, and we're like, oh, well, we'll just stop by, see if he's playing. And he was there. Definitely a good time, and definitely recommend to go check him out.
Yeah.
Is that all we had for Riverside?
Yeah, pretty
because
much.
you pretty much covered everything with the pool and everything. For me, I mean, without even thinking twice, Riverside, absolutely loved it. And I think at least I can speak to saying love it category because I've stayed here. We have stayed here in the past.
Like we
as a family.
Oh gosh, that probably forever ago.
Yeah, forever ago.
Yeah.
Because I do remember that big, the big mill, moving, growing up. as a kid.
Oh, you know what? I do too. Now that you say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then we had cousins that stayed there, and I think this is where we may have done our big trip at.
No. So
No?
they stayed at French Quarter because I remember going there and we snuck into their pool with them. And that's where they had the serpent water slide.
Okay, yeah. So we were, yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. I'm sure probably one big trip we did at Riverside. But I agree with you that Riverside is absolutely love it. We were looking at the different hotels to do for our honeymoon, and at first we were like, well, let's look at a deluxe. You know, they're a crazy amount of price, but let's plan one out. And we saw the prices for a deluxe, and there was just no way, Jose. But then we went to moderate, and we were kind of looking through all the hotels, and they were saying then the Royal Guest Room came out. It gives you that deluxe feel in a moderate resort. And that's very hard to do, to give you a deluxe feel when you're paying for less. So the fact that it can do that, for me, just lands it in the love it category. So would you agree? Yeah.
Let's just put it in the love it. Bam.
So Riverside is a love it. So now we're back to French Quarters.
Like if I said updated, I don't know what would be the updated.
The biggest thing for me is size, is space. It's very clustered. It's very small in the size. So if they were able to spread it out or even just add onto it and make it feel spread out, I think that's what they could update. The fact that it's a moderate resort and it's a small and clustered resort, these two really don't go together for me.
Yeah, I mean, even their quick service was very packed when we went just to get beignets. You know, I think they had, I mean, if you go to even the values and even the quick service at Riverside, you know, it's that they have a lot of stations and stuff like that. I think at French Quarter they may have only had like 3 stations.
Yeah, and for a moderate, that, you know, that shouldn't be. You know, maybe when they were first building these, they had this idea like, oh, let's create the Port Orleans Resort. We'll have a deluxe hotel in it and a value hotel in the same resort. And then maybe it just got popular or something that they both became moderate. I don't know. I'm not Imagineer. I don't know what they were thinking. But just the fact that it's so small and doesn't even have a sit-down restaurant. You know, it's small, doesn't have a sit-down restaurant, and then you said the food court was just To me, I think that's just kind of an updated.
Yeah, I would agree with you. You know, I'm glad we talked that one out. You know, out of all the moderates, other than the cabins, it's the smallest room size. I mean, just comparing Riverside and French Quarter. I mean, French Quarter with the 1,008 and Riverside with 2,048. It just speaks volumes on how big Riverside is and how small French Quarter is.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and you already did it. You already did it. Jeez. Okay. Well, moving on. You were moving on to Coronado Springs. Here on the next stop on our trip. Has 1,921 rooms at 314 square foot. Starting price around the $217. Again, common theme, just the starting price, no discount and all that. It's reimagined, and it's kind of getting reimagined again. They just went through a refurb on their regular rooms, and now this overall resort is going to get a brand new tower that's going to open up soon here. And which I'm very, very excited for. But before I get too far into it, just as the overview, it celebrates Spanish explorers, artists, and writers. It has a very, very strong Spanish influence throughout the whole entire resort with a very modern feel to it, which is quite relaxing. It's not, I don't know how to describe it really,
like
but it's...
If you had a modern conquistador, like if you took those two things kind of together, like that's the feel that it has. Like you have that very Spanish influenced side with a modern feel, so it just adds relaxing. I know what I just said, you just said, and I added nothing, but I feel better that I said it now.
I'm glad you feel better because it just reassures myself of what I said. I wasn't an idiot.
I had a thought and I was saying it, and then as I was saying it, I was like, I'm saying pretty much the same thing you just said. So that's not good.
So for the rooms, again, they're pretty much all the same. 2 queens, sleeps 4. They have a standard view, a water view, preferred room. The preferred just closer to the front area there of dining, shopping, transportation. This resort also offers a junior suite that has 2 queen beds and a queen-size sleeper sofa that sleeps 6. And it also has an executive suite that has 1 king, 2 queens, 1 queen sleeper sofa. So altogether, it sleeps 8. Coming very shortly is a whole entire new tower that offers even more categories. So you have these regular rooms. Now you're going to have a tower room that could be standard view, water view, standard view king bed, water view king bed. And the kings all offer 2, while the regular, sleeps 4. But they also have a standard view club access, an executive suite club access, and a presidential suite club access.
Can you explain the club access? Because I don't know too much about it.
Basically, they offered you free water, soda, and stuff like that.
Make you feel like you're in a club.
And then the club access also gives you those extra fast passes.
Oh, okay.
That you can book.
I gotcha.
Right off the bat on top of your 3 already.
Because when I go to a club, I think of free water and fast passes.
Hey, at the Disney Club, this is what you get, man. Yeah. This is it. So I'm very, very excited for the tower. Actually have a trip coming up in October for Capture the Magic Vacations kind of get together. And me and my wife will be staying in the tower room. So very, very excited. This resort has definitely gone through a complete, kind of 180 now on what it offers. The big pull for here is the huge convention center that it has. And that is kind of the main reason for this whole entire tower. And now it offers a, executive suites in the tower and a presidential suite. Because actually a lot of big CEOs for these companies that had a convention at Coronado Springs kind of had nowhere else to stay other than the regular rooms with this sounds weird, but with the regular coworkers,
with the regular people,
with everybody else. So I would imagine that I'm sure they got hounded, asked questions. Oh, there's the CEO. Let me go get a picture with him or ask questions or.
That's what I think when I see my boss.
No.
But I think too, if I'm not mistaken, which I most likely am, I think the tower will be connected to the convention center. There'll actually be
they're all pretty much
a skyway
connected
hallway type deal.
So where where Coronado Springs currently sits, the right now the check-in area is different. When the tower opens, that will be the new area for you to check in and get your room number and all that. Which it'll be interesting to see what the other one will do, but it'll all connect. Cool enough.
So that's exciting about the tower. But they're not just building the tower. They're actually adding restaurants to this kind of overhaul as well.
Yeah, so to add on to the dining, Toledo,
Okay.
Close. Toledo. Tapas, steak, and seafood will be a new kind of signature dining, Spanish-inspired food in the tower at the rooftop of the tower. So, if you go and have dinner there, especially at night, around 9-10 o'clock maybe, I'm sure is a wonderful view to see fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Also to go along, new is Three Bridges Bar and Grill, which, if you're familiar with Coronado Springs, the whole entire resort is around a pond, a lagoon area.
Yeah. Lake.
Yeah, a lake. Yeah, yeah. So and this sits basically right in the middle of the lake, and then funny enough, there are 3 bridges for you to get from around the resort to the Bar and Grill.
Wonder how they came up with the 3 Bridges Bar and Grill name.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, it seems I don't know, Disney,
It's
Disney
actually
wording.
the same guy that named Mardi Gras. He wasn't prepared, and they asked him, like, hey, we need a name for this restaurant. We told you last week, and we need it today.
Well, there's 3 bridges. That's perfect.
You get another raise. You're
Give
2
him a
for 2.
raise. Also offered for the dining is the Maya Grill, which is their sit down, Cafe Rick's, just a quick grab and go area, El Mercado de Coronado, which is their quick service. It has breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're laughing because you thought I was going to butcher that one.
Yeah, well, you read it slowly. You're like,
I did.
El Mercado.
I wanted to get it right.
De Coronado.
I wanted to get it right.
Uh-huh.
They also have Siesta Cantina. Hey.
I didn't say anything. I said nothing this time.
You don't have to. They serve breakfast and lunch here, and then Laguna Bar, which is their bar service.
So, a lot of dining.
A lot of Spanish influence in their wording.
That's probably
as
good.
you
I love
can't
tacos.
tell. I know. So, for their recreation, of course, they do have a pool. The Lost City of Cibola Pool, right? Cibola.
Yeah, Cibola.
Cibola Pool. I said Cibola.
Cibola. I went
Cibola
Italian.
Pool.
Cibola. Linguine. Sorry.
We're talking about Coronado Springs here.
Sorry. Spanish, not Italy. Got it.
Not Italy, not Italian. Not Italy.
It's like the same thing.
This is why we can never leave the U.S. So it's basically themed as the Mayan ruins. It has a 50-foot pyramid that water streams down its stone steps, which is really cool, which you can actually go up, I think, maybe like, I don't know, 5 or 10 of them or so, to sit on.
Like 2.
Is it 2?
It's like, no, it's not 2. It's like 3 steps. It's not 5.
Okay. Because safety.
Because it's wet, so if someone slips, that means they're going to fall down 5 stairs.
No
that
kidding.
hurts. Into the pool.
They also have a 123-foot long water slide, and they also have the largest hot tub, which is interesting. So they also have all around, again, they have 3 leisure pools that are kind of like the quieter pools. The Cibola pool is kind of the main one.
It's a fun one.
Yeah, the fun one with the slide. Who doesn't like a slide? They have campfires, the movies under the stars, volleyball, jogging trail, playground, and an arcade.
So last January, we actually stayed here, so we can actually speak from experience, which is good.
Yeah, and we kind of did a half day of the resort itself.
And where we kind of came back, took a nap, laid down for like a couple minutes, and then we went to the pool in January, and it wasn't the warmest day, so that wasn't the smartest option. But we were like, let's go for 30 minutes. Just hang out at the pool. Next thing you know, we all have drinks. We're all laying outside. So
I think the sun even came out just like a little bit.
It was made it nice. So we all got frozen alcoholic drinks, which was super nice to do. So we all sat outside drinking, and then we were like, let's get in the pool for 15 minutes. Me, you, Amanda, and Katie all got in.
We did the water slide like 3 times.
Amanda and Katie got in, and then got out 10 minutes later, and then an hour goes by, and Ryan and I are still on the water slide.
Yeah.
And so, it was just such a cool water slide, and I think it might be the longest water slide in moderates. I don't know about resorts in general, because that's information I didn't look up. But so it's definitely a long water slide, and it puts you into the theme, which is cool. And all these do, but we're just talking about Coronado right now. They put you into the theme that you actually, it's kind of connected to the tower. It's like on the right side of the tower if you're looking right at it. But you go up a couple, sets of stairs, so you're kind of a part of the tower, and then you go down a water slide, and there's vines. I think there's like there's like a jaguar that is spitting water out of its mouth onto the water slide, and then you kind of twist and turn till you kind of get into the pool. So it's a cool water slide just for being at a hotel and not a water park.
No, it's definitely themed and awesome. I mean, again, right off the bat, just like Riverside, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and just say love it. I feel like we enjoyed ourselves in January, and now even more with all of the updates coming. I think it just it holds the pin in the love it, even probably for the next time we do this, even if because if we stay there again, which I'm sure we will, because we'll want to experience. Well, I'm going in October, so I'm going to experience. So for me, I feel like it's going to keep it in that category. Now they have a tower and you can stay in the tower. The new bar and grill. I think it adds a lot for this resort.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that sells it for me is going to be the dining. I love, so I have celiac disease, so I can't eat a lot of gluten, which is wheat. So that's so breakfast is very hard for me because it's either eating like cornflake cereal or getting special stuff gluten-free. I mean, or just eating like straight eggs. But so, I can't have like cinnamon rolls or like bagels, stuff that counts as snacks when you're in the dining plan that everyone else could do because they had 2 snacks a day. So they used that as one of their snacks. Well, I couldn't really do that because they didn't have gluten-free pastries. So instead of me having, a celiac attack, I would get, the egg platter in the morning, which came with like pepper, sausage, a little bit of hot sauce, Mexican spices. And just, it was so good. And for being kind of like a food court, to have that memory and experience, I think that's, for me, what gives it that love it status.
All right. Well, go ahead and mark it down. Love it. And we will, hop back on the bus and take it to our next stop, which is
Disney Caribbean Beach Resort. So there's 2,109 rooms, and the room sizes are about 300 square feet. So it's a little bit smaller rooms compared to the other ones, which means that the starting price is actually a little bit less. So it's $208 starting price. Again, that's just a good baseline. So it just discover a world where life slows to a luxurious place and worries melt away amidst calypso rhythms. Yeah, sure. Their vibrant colors and lush landscapes kind of surround this whole area, making it feel like a relaxing paradise. There are 5 distinct islands in this resort. You have Barbados, Jamaica, Marquise, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Trinidad, and Aruba. You can celebrate the spirit of the Caribbean, which kind of includes with the there's a lot of good Caribbean food, a lot of exotic food. In the surroundings, there's kind of forts, there's markets, splashy florals, which I guess is for like their pool, and swaying hammocks to awaken the imagination. Wow. Wow. Everyone's just speechless.
Sounds like you just read that off the Disney site.
I didn't. I did. So for the rooms, it's kind of all the same rooms. You have the standard view, the water/pool view. They both sleep up to 4 with a 5th sleeper, or you can have the king bed, which just sleeps 2 adults, or you can have a preferred room, which is just kind of closer to the front, to the center area. They also have a pirate room, which is themed like a pirate. Like your beds are actually kind of they're boats. There's a mast that sits kind of on the wall, so it's cool. But they're double beds. They're not queens.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Right. Otherwise, I definitely would have already stayed here because I love everything and anything pirates. Right. It's a double bed.
Right. So it's not a queen. So I mean, it on the website it says that they sleep 4 adults, but really with a queen with a double, that's hard to get 2 full-grown adults in there.
Yeah,
it's tight.
I don't know how. I don't know. I mean, unless you have kids and they love pirates, and sure, cram on a double bed. But again, like, I'm on vacation, so.
But see, what does it for me too is that the pirate rooms, like the bed is pirate themed, like the curtain to the bathroom's pirate themed. But like that's all that's pirate themed. The thing that holds the TV is kind of pirate themed. There's like around the bathroom mirror, it's like pirate theme. But like comparing it to a royal guest room.
Yeah, and to me, that's what it seems like they tried to do here.
But it didn't work out.
But it just...
Right.
Yeah, it didn't work out. And I think it all starts with the double beds.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll move on to dining. So the first one is Sebastian's Bistro, which is a newer restaurant that just switched to serving dinner. Transport your taste buds to island time with delightful surf and turf meals infused with rich Latin and Caribbean flavors. It's interesting that Sebastian's Bistro, kind of after the Little Mermaid, Sebastian will serve surf and turf. It's interesting.
Why not? He's got to make $1.
But like in his song, he says that they're lucky because they're under the sea. Under the sea.
I hear you.
All right. You have the Centertown Market, which is the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have the Banana Cabana bar service. Cool off with a refreshing drink at this walk-up bar that offers tropical drinks like the Caribbean Smuggler, the Agave Rita, which sounds delicious, Bourbon Breeze, which also sounds delicious, and the signature Banana Cabana, plus cold beer sangria and non-alcoholic options. So it sounds like kind of like their pool bar. It sounds like they serve very tropical drinks, which sound delicious. There's also the Spyglass Grill, which serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that is located near the Trinidad pool area.
So a lot of dining options. It definitely looks that way for that. And again, this resort just recently went through kind of a remodel, revamp for it all. So Sebastian Bistro is new.
Newer.
Newer. And this resort also has a new front check-in area that kind of similar, but not necessarily did they add any rooms and towers with it. It just, they update it. I think all the restaurants attached to that area are new and updated. But for me, this resort over the last maybe 6 months to a year, I've never suggested anybody, any of my friends or family, or anybody I've really planned a vacation for, have suggested this hotel mainly because of all of the refurbishments going on. With that said, now that it's pretty much all over, I might stay at it myself just to get a feel for it again.
Just to do it.
Yeah, just to do it. But I just don't know. I'm still I hesitate a little bit for it. But yeah, getting to recreation.
We'll talk about that after. Let's finish all of this. So we have the Fuertes de Mora pool. Make a splash at the zero-entry Pirates Paradise. Seemed like a colonial Spanish fortress. They had 2 water slides. One of them is 102 feet long. They have kind of these war cannons sticking out of the towers that spray water into the pool. There's a shipwreck play area. There's mini slides, a crow's nest, and a barrel that dispenses water. Like it fills up with water and then it kind of dumps it all out. There's campfires, movies under the stars, fishing, bike renters, volleyball, jogging trail, playground. 2 cool things they have is a pirate adventure cruise. Disney says scallywags 4 to 12 years of age can set sail on a pirate adventure following clues to discover hidden treasure. They also have the Unsolved Mysteries of Barefoot Bay. Collect clues and solve puzzles during an evening cruise geared toward buccaneers ages 10 to 12. So, that's pretty cool that they have these nighttime cruises or maybe even daytime cruises for these, for the younger kids that, want to have a day at the hotel or something, and it gives them something to do. That's not just sit in the hotel, go to a pool. It's kind of adventurous.
Yeah,
I feel like.
and a cool, another nice point is that you can send your kids on this that are, 4 to 12 while you go do something else, while
Take
the
a nap.
adults go do something
Take a
else.
nap.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Or yeah. I am. I know. Sorry. For me, I'm gonna say update it. I know they just had this update, but it still seems very underwhelming. Maybe because I haven't been there in a minute. That's how I feel. If I go there now after the updates, it might change. But I'm still saying update just because I think it needs to get a better sense of what it wants to be. Does it want to be kind of this tropical island getaway, or does it want to be this pirate hotel? They have the pirate rooms that are very underwhelming. They're bad compared to the royal guest rooms at Riverside. The pool is underwhelming, right? It's just like a Spanish fortress. It's not like it's a giant castle or anything. Like, it's a very spread out pool, and it's not like the cannons are shooting, at like the other towers. It's not like you're in like the middle of a war. Like, the cannons are just dripping water into the pool, basically.
Yeah.
I know it's all being filtered, but
it does look neat.
It looks neat, but for a moderate, I want it. It's just missing that extra step. And I don't know what the extra thing is, but I think if Disney found that extra thing, I think that's what would make it. I love it.
Yeah, I think to your point, it's it either needs to be this Caribbean beach resort, or it needs to be this
adventurous pirate resort.
Yeah, yeah. They did it right when they did Riverside with the royal guest rooms, and it fits the theme of Riverside very well.
It makes sense.
Yes. Now, if they change these rooms, to the Caribbean Beach Resort, and maybe they called the rooms instead of the pirate rooms, kept it more like, Captain Jack's private room of that regard, kept it very more Pirates of Caribbean, which it does have that feel, but more than just a shower curtain overlay to it.
Right.
Do it up.
Right.
Just like the royal guest rooms in that regard.
It's like they were very hesitant to put an official IP label on this. But I think if they were just to put an IP label, I think that would help develop the concept more of the rooms, of some of the resort.
The royal guest room seems very much it's going to be around for a while. The pirate room, it seems like they could get rid of everything in there, and just keep like the double beds and all that kind of stuff, or just change them out for other beds like in a week, versus the guest rooms, at Riverside, that might take a little bit more if they'd decided to get rid of them. So, for me, I would say, okay, update it, but they have already updated it.
I know.
They added a new, check-in kind of feel to it, a new restaurant, Sebastian's Bistro, that served lunch and dinner that now only serves dinner. I almost want to say hate it with an asterisk of, if there's no other place to stay, if it's not Coronado, because that's, moved up on my list. Now staying at Riverside, that's, top of my list. Caribbean Beach for me is on the lower end of choice spectrum for all of the moderates.
See, I agree with you that it is definitely the lower choice, not the lowest, but lower. But
right.
But that, to me, it's not a hate it, because there is a bunch of redeeming qualities about it.
And I guess that's why I would kind of say like a hate it with an asterisk, because to me, I don't think I could say update it, because again, they have updated it. So like the hate it with an asterisk kind of meaning like, let me stay there again. I feel like I need more than just paper and pictures.
That's why I'm labeling it updated, because I haven't been there so for long. So I want to be like, oh, well, this resort is bad, when we haven't been there in a hot minute.
But then what are they going to update?
Update update the theme. That's what they either need to be, like we said, they need either to update and be a adventurous pirate or update and be a tropical getaway.
And to me, with the new front entrance to it and check-in area, they have given it that more Caribbean,
Tropical,
modern
right.
tropical theme that now they just need to carry that, more into
And get rid of the pirate rooms.
the rooms and get rid of the pirate
So
rooms.
that's why I'm saying update it.
Update it and get rid of the pirate rooms?
Yeah.
And just keep it Caribbean?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Put it, update it. Update it, update it, update it. Yeah, definitely. And this one was kind of an 50-50 update it,
Absolutely.
hate
Absolutely.
it for it. But moving on to the last in the moderate category, which I guess is our honorable mention.
We struggle putting this on here because it's not really a hotel or resort.
But it is part of a bigger resort that offers kind of two ways to stay at it, and it's the cabins at the Fort Wilderness Resort. So they have 363 cabins. The cabin size is 504 square feet, and their starting price is $341. Why it's so, you're like, oh wow, these have more square footage, is because it sleeps 6 adults. It has 1 queen, 1 bunk bed, 1 double-sized sleeper sofa that sleeps 6 adults. I'll just keep on going with the rooms, but as the room, it does have a living room. It has the bedrooms. It has a full bathroom, a private patio, a grill, modern kitchen, refrigerator, dishwasher, microwave. All of the what you would need in a house, a home away from home, in a cabin, right? So in that regard, okay. If you're looking for this kind of thing, wonderful. Overall, Fort Wilderness is a 750 acre, land of pine and cypress trees, all around. It very much is that campground wilderness theme of the American frontier, hands down, is, the overall theme of the area. With, at least for in the moderate, what we're talking about now is that that cabin feel. They do offer campsites, which I'm very, very excited for myself. Me and my wife purchased a travel trailer and will definitely, absolutely be partaking in the campsites. And the campsites are actually listed as a value for it, because you can get campsites as low as $75. And they actually do offer tent camping as well, which is interesting for Disney. I guess for us, I don't think that we would ever stay here, or if we did, it wouldn't be with 6 adults.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It seems small. Looking at pictures, it seems small.
Well, because they have like a dining room table which has 3 chairs and like a bench, and there's like a little seating area with a sofa, and then right next to it is like the kitchen. So you hear 504 square feet, you're like, oh wow, but it's very clustered with things in it that take away from that square footage.
And I mean, if it was just me and my wife staying here, maybe, having the whole place, having a kitchen, a living room, that kind of house feel, with all the amenities at Disney, is intriguing.
But at the same time, I don't want to say it seems like a waste, but if you're going to Walt Disney World to go to kind of Walt Disney World and go to the parks, it seems not worth having this deck, the grill, the full kitchen. If you don't use that stuff, then this is definitely not worth it.
Yeah, and it's all amount of what you want to get out of it. I mean, if you want that cabin camp style type feel, absolutely. This is the place, for you to stay. We've never stayed at one of these. But, there's more than just this offered at the campsite or at Fort Wilderness, which adds to this. So for dining, they have the Trails End restaurant, which serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have the Chuck Wagon that just serves dinner, RV style food. It's basically just a food truck. They have
Sounds really good.
yeah. P&G Southern Takeout, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Meadow Shack Bar, which is just a snack, grab and go.
Did you say Shack Bar?
Snack. Oh, it is snack.
He can't read.
I can't.
He can't do the English.
It should be shack. So Meadow Snack Bar, which of course just has snacks. They also have the very favorable Hoop-de-Doo musical review, which is a dinner show, and it is all you care to enjoy while they serve dinner. And it's, if you've not seen it, it's funny. We've seen it as kids growing up. We haven't seen it, recently. I am excited to experience this again soon. With more people, with family, and especially with campsites. And then they also have Crockett's Tavern as a bar that they have.
Oh, like Davy Crockett. I just got that.
Yeah. Wow.
Alrighty.
Not the Shack Bar. So they also have a Meadow swimming pool, 67-foot long corkscrew water slide. They have a whirlpool spa, a splash pad in a way that they also have the splash thing is kind of in the fort themed water play area of it all. Also at the resort, which makes it more of that camp style feel, they have archery. You can do a pony wagon,
okay,
a pony wagon and carriage
carriage
ride
car rage
around the resort. They also have Chippendale campfire sing along where you can roast marshmallows. They also have the movies under the stars. They have boat rentals, fishing, kayak, bike. They have basketball courts, volleyball, jogging. They actually have 2 arcades, a playground, and trails. If you are absolutely looking for this camping lifestyle, and for me, I'm inspired by it because now having a travel trailer, that RV type style, definitely, I can't wait to stay here, especially for the campsites. Now, when it comes to if we're focusing just on the cabins, which we are, because it falls under moderate, because you get all these amenities, plus the room, the whole place in a way, the whole cabin, you're getting a whole cabin, for yourself. Sleep six adults or 6 people. That's what makes it a moderate in this regard. And then transportation, they have 2 internal buses just to get around the whole entire place. It's called Chippendale.
It's a massive place.
Yeah. They also you can also take a boat to the Magic Kingdom. And then all the other parks you can get to at the Outpost bus stop, which, again, is interesting, that they offer so much at this resort that they have just an internal bus system for it.
Right. I mean, I'm not good at math, but I mean, these cabins they are single cabins. They're not cabins that are like placed on top of each other like a hotel or resort. Like they are physical cabins.
You get a whole miniature, a tiny house to yourself or to whoever you're staying with.
Right. So, I mean, there's 363 cabins. So if you times that by 6, saying all of them are full, that's 2,178 people right there, just with the cabins alone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a lot of people in a big space. So it's definitely understandable that they have the buses. For me, it doesn't seem worth that these cabins should be at the moderate level. I think they should be kind of lower because if you want that wilderness feel, then go to the Wilderness Lodge. I know that's deluxe and, easier said than done.
Yeah, or do, more of the campsite route.
Right.
I feel like they, sorry to cut you off, but I feel like they had to offer the cabins to give the campgrounds more than just being a campground.
And I understand that, but I would rather them get rid of the cabins and add more campgrounds. I would think it just needs to be like a campground resort.
Period.
Yeah, and not have the cabins. I think the cabins were their way of saying like, oh, we can do kind of this camping and we can do it nicer. But like, I just don't think it worked out. I think it was unnecessary.
Yeah. I definitely feel, kind of how you feel for it. Staying with 6 people seems like a lot of people to stay in one of these cabins.
Right.
If it's only, 2 adults, like if it was only, me and my wife or you and your fiance staying at this, for $341, a night seems like a lot to have a place that if your main priority is to go to the park, doesn't seem worth it at all, especially when the royal guest room for 2 people, even 4 people at that matter, because they're still queen beds, seems even more worth it.
Absolutely. And then if you're looking for a place to not go to the park and just stay at the hotel, you don't have to pay for park tickets. So I would say just go to a deluxe hotel.
Yeah.
Go stay at one of the hotels around the Magic Kingdom. So then you have the monorail, and you can kind of hotel hop and have your own place and hotel. If you want to stay at a hotel, go to a deluxe. Don't go to the cabin. That's kind of
pick one of the other moderate.
Yeah. I mean, pick another moderate. The moderates are even good.
Yeah.
So I think we're in agreement, and I just want to actually say it that since we're solely talking about cabins, because the cabins fall under moderate, and the campsites don't because of price, but it's one resort, so it's very weird. I think if we say the cabins at Fort Wilderness, I think that should go under hate it with an asterisk saying not including the campsite. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes. Yeah.
You're very hesitant on that.
I know. I mean, I would say update it, but I don't know what they would update with it. Maybe the update is just to get rid of them and make more campsites out of them. It just doesn't seem very logical for 6 adults, especially in our state, when we go on, at least with, our parents and my wife and your fiance, we are 6 adults. Yes, they offer a queen bed, but to sleep in a bunk bed just seems pointless.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I've actually seen a whole entire cabin listed on eBay before.
That's kind of cool, I guess.
It's kind of it's funny that you could buy a whole tiny
just
house.
buy a cabin.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I don't know.
I mean, you bought a whole entire house and it's on wheels. Basically.
Yes,
and that's what you would take to the campsite.
That it is. I can't wait to enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
So to kind of give a full entire rundown of what we listed, French Quarter, update it. Riverside, love it. Coronado Springs, love it. Can't wait to stay there again, especially with
all the new updates. Yeah.
All the new updates that's coming. Caribbean Beach, update it. Pirate rooms, just get rid of it. Make all Caribbean. Then we'd probably put it into the love it. And the the cabins. I was about to say campgrounds. The cabins at Fort Wilderness. Hate it with an asterisk, saying this is just the cabins, not necessarily the campsites with it. Yeah.
I think that's good. I'm happy with our list.
Yeah, so am I. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review as it helps us improve the show. And as always, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.